Hey, welcome everybody to my chess stream. It's Monday morning, 10 a.m. Central European time, and I'm going to be playing blitz and I guess really fast classical chess here on lichess.org with subscribers and other challengers. We focus on taking the subscribers first, but if you hang out with us, you should be able to get a game if you get your challenge in early enough. It is anything between 5+3 and 7+3. We are going to start in a second here. I've got two challenges. The this player Bambix. Have I ever played Bambix? It sounds strangely familiar, but there was a similar name in my simul yesterday. But no, it was like Bombist or something. Okay, Bambix Melody Marathon. Melody, I didn't get to look at that. I didn't look at the simul games. I'm going to analyze them this afternoon because I have some time. I want to go over to the simul games and also my tournament game from yesterday, which I haven't had time to analyze yet. So, anyways, Sundays I usually do a simul. Last night was no exception. We did a 20-board simul. I did a 20-board simul, talking about myself in third person again. It's early in the morning. All right, let's get started with Bambix. Maybe playing another game, actually. What's he doing? He's playing multiple games. I'm going to take this challenge from Melody Marathon, who's a subscriber. We are, yeah, we're supposed to be playing our subscribers first. So it's Monday morning. I said that 5 times already. I don't know what else to say. I finished my coffee. I feel awake. Let's start it up. Just some regular blitz and classical. Well, I mean, if 7+, let's see, 7+, actually maybe 5+5 is classical. No, I'm not sure. I'm getting confused. I don't know where the limit is between blitz and classical. We used to play 8+3, but it gets to be a little too long, so I shaved a minute off the maximum base time so the games don't take like outrageously long. I'm playing the white side of a Benoni here, maybe a Benko. Yesterday we might have had something like this, yeah, with Melody Marathon. This sort of gives me some other options. I usually play either the same-ish or bishop d3. Against the Benoni, at least I have a couple of different options, which is nice. I have two systems, basically. If you're any sort of professional or, anyway, semi-professional type of player, I mean, you're playing tournaments on a regular basis, I'd recommend having like two systems against everything. This was a setup that was recommended by Roman Djindjiashvili like 20 years ago in some of his videotapes. I never really bought it for black. I just don't think it's probably even quite as good as like the normal modern Benoni, but I mean, I guess it's playable. I never really liked it, to be honest. It's not that bad, but I don't think it's that inspiring a position either for black. Kind of a weird Benoni with a quick knight a6 and a delayed capture on e5 or d5. But it's fully playable. I had a game with International Master Orsho Miklos where he tried to do like e5 at one point. And there's all kinds of shit going on outside. I don't understand. There's like ambulances, airplanes going in the air. Like there's like a propeller airplane over the city of Budapest, flying low. Maybe it's a helicopter actually, but it's really pissing me off. All right. There's like never helicopters here. What the heck is going on? They must have foreign emissaries visiting from another country. All right, rook e1. Good morning, guys. Let me know if you're alive out there. The ambulance is already irritating enough. I live on the roof of my building, in case you guys are wondering, so it is relevant what's happening above me as far as like sound goes. All right, bishop g5. You'd be surprised how much sound actually carries up to the top of buildings. Like, you would think like at the ground level you would hear the ambulances more, but it seems like the sound somehow gets sucked up to the top of the buildings. So if I have the window even a crack open, I can't even hear myself talking. All right, bishop g5. Maybe I should just put on a headset or something. I think it looks stupid though. I don't know about this formation for me. I feel like I'm playing a little too fast. Yesterday in my tournament game, due to some what do you call it? Factors beyond my control. I was like 15 minutes late to my game. Well, the whole team, most of my team was. And that's really bad. I mean, the time control is already fast enough. And then I've got to lose like 15 minutes off the clock before the game has even started. It was really lame. And not good for me, because obviously I like to use my time. So let's see what's up with e5 here. If we play e5, he takes on e5. I take with my knight. And then he takes on d5. Could potentially have some ideas with like queen f3 or something. e5 takes, knight takes, pawn takes d5. I can't take back, he'll just take back. It could be even possible to take on d5, queen takes d5, bishop c4, queen takes d1, bishop takes f7 check. Even that is not convincing for me. I wouldn't be surprised if e5 works somehow, but I just takes, queen f3. It just doesn't look 100% convincing. So I'm just going to play a4, trying to stop b5, the normal Benoni move. I'm sure that you guys are probably sending me messages in the channel, but Twitch is acting really weird lately. I have to refresh Twitch to get to see what's happening in my stream. There it goes. All right, 14 viewers. We just started 8 minutes ago. Let me know if you guys are alive. Say good morning. It's always nice to know that somebody cares. All right, so now we transition back to something different. He's gonna play a closed structure. Okay, he's got the rook on the wrong square. We have our bishop maybe on the wrong square. I don't know. But I think that this cuts both ways. Actually, I could play g4 at some point. Come to think of it, this might be better for me. Although I've played a4, I have less flexibility to play like b4 on the queen side, so maybe the game shifts to more of a king side. Me attempting to break through on the king side. Moving my knight to a good square. I guess I'll play it like a Petrosian King's Indian. But we don't really like the fact that we played a4. I could play knight b5, but he just plays rook a8 in that case, I guess, with no problem. I almost clicked resign for some reason. All right, we're going to h4. Then my bishop really becomes a pawn. Should think about this twice. The other way I'm not real crazy about either. Bishop e3, knight h5. Bishop f1, knight f4. Alright, we could try it. Hey guys, what's up? This wasn't my first plan, and I'm not sure. My original plan was to play bishop h4, but then I was thinking, like, after this g5, bishop g3, my bishop is going to be really bad. Then again, his bishop is really, really bad too, so just the position is so closed after that. Yeah, I don't like when my bishop ends up on h2 in one of these structures. It's like a really ridiculous situation where I have to play g3 with my bishop on h2. That's something you generally don't want to do. Maybe I should have gone ahead and bit the bullet and played like g4 basically right away instead of knight d2. I was thinking about this and I shied away from it for some very stupid reasons, but maybe objectively g4 was a good move. Although it's quite committal, and I'm sure that black's position is playable. This seemed a little more fluid. If I only hadn't played a4, if I could play like a3, I'd be much happier right now. This is getting weird. Looks like dubious for me. I blundered an exchange, but he didn't see it with knight d3 there. Not sure how strong this guy is. I mean, we've played a whole bunch of games, but I don't know what Melody Marathon's like over the board rating is. It's kind of hard to say. He seems pretty strong, but he's obviously human. Maybe like 2,000 FIDE-ish, maybe even higher. He's 2172. Man, I just blundered knight d3 though. I mean, I actually in that closed position, losing the exchange might not have been that bad, but it's not something you want to do. I've got no subscribers in the chat, and we're supposed to be playing subscribers. All right, first, that's all right. You guys can always subscribe, help support the stream. It's not that expensive. Get first priority to play. Rook a3 is a good useful move in the Benoni anyway. This was a bad plan, man. I got tangled up. Why did I not play g3 here is the real question. Well, I know why I didn't play it, because he has queen d7 and then he can attack h3 a third time. We'll have to analyze after the game. I'm not winning a piece. I actually get my bishop on e3 trapped. And I didn't have time to play knight f3, knight g1, which would be probably my first choice, which I've done in some other games. This way looks okay for me. I'm not sure where my follow-up lies. Knight f5. If knight f5, he can take it. And then, okay, now on knight f5, he can take it, I take it back. I've got control of the e4 square. And he gives up his important white squared bishop, so this should be good for me. Now he's not taking, okay. I guess I'm playing this. Keeping e4 under control. It's amazing how I can never actually trap his bishop with my knight on this stupid d2 square. Trap his knight, trying to say. I can never actually win the knight. Trying to like keep everything under control. Well, he saves his knight. He's probably better off not saving it, ironically. I couldn't really take it without getting my own piece trapped. There's a lot of tactics to calculate. If I take on f4, he takes back with the e-pawn, he opens up all this on my dark squares. I don't really want that to happen, so we're just going to play positionally. Eventually now, I should be able to get something going. Like Victor Korchnoi often would take over on the king's side in the King's Indian. And the ambulance is coming again, dude. Driving me berserk. Bishop h6. Got all kinds of... I keep forgetting his bishop's pinned. So we should be at least winning a pawn or two here. Queen f6. The ending is just really good for me. He didn't have to take there. He should probably just move his king if it's possible. More or less alive. That's a good sign. Okay, the e6 pawn should win the game. Another ambulance. This is crazy here. Not so easy. This is not so easy for me. I mean, I should be winning, but it's looking kind of tricky. That might make life difficult, though. That should do it. Get rid of that powerful dark-scored bishop. It's a good defender. Wow. He found the defense, sort of. Two connected passed pawns. Yeah, no, I can't let him on the 7th. Oh, damn, he has that. Alright. Oh, I have to go this way. Okay. I almost didn't find that. I was starting to panic. Irritation by ambulances. Whew, man, it wasn't easy. He's a good bullet player, so he finds these defensive moves very easily and quickly. All right. So I don't know about the opening though. Let's take a look. I only have 2 subscribers. Challenging. No subscribers are here. What's up this morning? I'm wondering where we left, like, book here. Castles, knight c7, rook e1. Rook e8 is less common than rook b8. I'm not even that satisfied with rook e1, to be honest. I'm not sure that's my best move. It looks like bishop g5 right away has quite a good score. Maybe we can do the same thing without even bothering to play rook e1. Although rook e1 has some strong players. Yakovenko, Andreikin, Kirill Gergiev. Man, those guys suck. Let's see. Rook e1, rook e8, a4 was played a lot. Yakovenko played my move against the Iescas 10 years ago. The rest of the games are not that relevant. It looks like bishop g5 has a massive score, though. I didn't realize this, but if you look, my move is like 89%. Rook b8, and there's no transpositions here. e5 closing it up. I don't know. Bishop h4 here was my original plan, but what I didn't like was g5, bishop g3, and something like, I don't know, yeah, h5. What is my plan? I guess I can play knight f1, knight f1, knight e3 here. So it's actually not so bad to put my bishop on g3, h2. Okay, he can't weaken his king side that much. Alright guys, interesting game. I guess I'll play if these guys aren't playing other games. This guy's playing another game, so... Or is he done? He's playing another game. I don't know what's up with that. Marxist from Bulgaria. Let's play him. No subscribers, so you guys can go ahead and play. Trout's one of our subscribers is online. Alright, Marxist. Let's see if he's in the house. He may be like not thinking I'm going to accept his challenge or something, so not here. Alright. Knight f3. I usually play c4, but just let's play some e4. Play us some e4 today. Not playing enough e4. I don't normally play e4 that much in tournaments because my opening knowledge with e4 is significantly less than d4 and flank openings, so I'm always afraid I'll get caught out by some experts. This opening I play myself though for black, so we should be pretty comfortable. Black can either play takes or bishop g7 there. If you'd like to avoid certain lines, you can play bishop g7, turn it into a modern defense. This is like, I think, the most fun variation of the hyper accelerated dragon. I always loved playing black in this position. Monday morning. Guys, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings playing Blitz Classical Chess. Tuesday I do a viewer tournament this Tuesday night. Tuesday and Thursdays in the evening I have streams. And Sundays in the evening I do a simul. So 6 streams a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday Blitz in the morning, European time. Tuesdays and Thursdays 7 p.m. European time. And Sunday simuls around 6:30. Yesterday was 7 in fact. Okay, Marxist, unless you want to play like Belon Lopez with f6, you have to play knight f6 here. The Spanish Grandmaster, a little crazy to play f6. I guess he just wanted to be different, but I've seen a couple games like where he actually did that. I don't know what White's best move is here. I think that e5, knight c3, bishop b5 are all interesting. But I've played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games with the black pieces in this position, and some with white. Quite a few tournament games with black. Now d6, for some reason I thought there should be a difference between d6 and knight c6. I guess it just transposes. There's nothing I can do. I mean, there's other moves I could play, but none of them would have any special effect here. So you're going to play like e5 and take it, which doesn't look that good for black. It's an interesting question, though. How bad is that ending? Is it really bad for black? Well, you're supposed to play knight c6, drive my queen to a4 first. See, this way we transpose to something like a check over variation. Soltigo, I don't know where everybody is. So yeah, the thing with Gashimov, right? Yeah, he knew everything about the Benoni Melody Marathon. He like lived for it. I mean, he knew variations, like 4 different variations in every line. He must have spent like his whole life studying that opening. It's definitely difficult for black. It's good if you're, if you're a very resourceful and tactical player, I think. But I really, I don't know. I think when you're playing weaker players, it's probably good to, make the game more complicated. So, probably a very good opening for beating players who are lower rated than you. Risky to play against higher rated players. Occasionally you'll get a scalp though. I think I'm pretty good against the Benoni. It's like if I put all the openings I play against on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable I feel, the Benoni I would be pretty high, like an 8 or something. Yesterday I had to play the white side of a hedgehog, and I felt like very uncomfortable in the hedgehog, for example. Like I have far more experience playing the white side of the Benoni than playing the white side of the hedgehog. Therefore, one is not better than the other, but one I have just a lot more practice with. So, alright. This might not be as bad as it looks for black. But it might. It might. I think I just simply take on c6 and then don't even do e6 and try to be fancy, but just take on c6 and then just take and like win a pawn. When I don't think that black has any real compensation. I mean, he does have the bishop pair, but we don't have anything with e6. I mean, I think that's nothing. We can have fun, People like giving check. I mean, e6, knight f6, pawn takes f7, check. Ooh, I checked his king. That's probably actually pretty good for black. So I'm going to just take on d6 here. Uh-oh. Alright. There's no e5. I just had to think about it for a second because that's important. He doesn't have e5. He doesn't have any kind of e5, knight takes e5, queen e7, obviously. If there was no pawn on d6, he could play e5 here. And after knight takes e5, queen e7, could maybe be a tactical problem for white. But so I guess the bottom line is this variation doesn't give black many options. I mean, he really has to play like knight c6, queen a4, then d6. But the good news is that variation probably isn't so bad for black. I actually last year I put a couple videos on my YouTube channel, video chess training on YouTube. They're not like comprehensive, but some ideas on this position for black. If you guys want to take a look at some point. My YouTube channel is Video Chess Training on YouTube. Thus the confusion. Okay, knight f6 right away. Well, so I guess I just take. I mean, I'm up a pawn, better structure, but black has the 2 bishops. You kind of have to add everything up. He can actually take with the queen there. I don't know why I didn't expect that. He has a little bit of comp here. Not super happy. Queen e5. Queen e5. Queen e3 is a bit safer. He does have some compensation, so I don't really know if I should have played this continuation. Well, what else could I do, though, honestly? Bishop g5. I mean, that might actually be best. Yep. Probably I need to play bishop g5 instead of taking on e7. Could even take with the pawn here. So these are nice bishops, you got to admit. Getting my king out. Maybe I should castle queenside. Every time I make a decision, I'm like questioning myself. I don't know. Rook b8, b3. Yeah, I'm getting off that b file and the long diagonal. I don't want to be on the long diagonal with my rook here. That's enough of that business. Kept this one free. I did keep that square free. Marxist has a good sense for dynamism, but his, static problems might be fairly serious. We are a pawn up. He does have a bad structure. That's not something that's like going away anytime soon. So if he doesn't get something going, then he's just gonna lose. And I just don't see anything for black. Bishop a6 might have even been a mistake. It looks active, but maybe he should be. Sorry, maybe he's better off actually putting the bishop on f5 here. Although he's walking into knight d4 there. Yeah, there's no easy solution. I don't know. Okay, he played the opening slightly inaccurately, and he lost a pawn. Soltigo. Yeah, we can't do much else. I don't want to take with the knight. When you're up material, like in this case a pawn, I want to trade pieces. He's making a mistake in a sense by trading pieces when he's down a pawn with knight to g4. But to be fair, okay, it's hard to find good moves for him in this position. Knight e5 isn't good. I don't want to get back rank mated. So let's kick him out, give us a little bit of luft. We don't get back rank mated ever. And then, okay, now I was thinking we'll play for the c6 pawn. And eventually I would like to get my king toward the center actually in this endgame. Something like f3. Our knights are good. The structure is kind of like not that flexible or fluid for black on the queen side. So his pawns get fixed really easily. They can't protect each other. Okay, bishop c4 is losing a second pawn, right? Yeah. He's down 2 now. Tempted to play rook e7, but ironically, it's not so simple. Okay, he doesn't really have any threats. I'm going to get my king closer to the center and not give him too much space, hopefully. A lot of people are too dismissive of like 2 pawns up and oh, it's just a win. You know, you could mess this up very easily. You got to really bear down. You know, yesterday my opponent wouldn't resign in a situation in a rook ending where I had like 3 connected passed pawns. But I took it seriously, you know. You can't just let people off the hook. Positions don't win themselves, you know. I mean, if you're up a rook or something like that, even there, once I managed to not win a rook up position, there were queens on the board. It was complicated, and my king got messed up. All right, now might as well make use of this pawn here. But he's doing a good job, like keeping it complicated, not trading any more pieces still. That's actually a small problem for me. I can't afford to lose 2 pawns for the price of 1 here. But I guess I could take b5 and take the very strong passer there. I don't really want to give him that pawn, but I guess there's no choice now. We've messed this up a bit, as I was talking about. Knight a2. Extremely awkward, but effective. God, that's an ugly move. That's not what I wanted to do. But we have to do what we have to do. Now he's on another pawn. The H pawn isn't too bad. I don't mind losing that so much. I can afford to lose 1 pawn on the king side. Now it's over. All right. He mouse slipped or something, it looks like, with rook f4. Is it like a stalemate? Almost a stalemate. He's trying for stalemate, but there's no stalemate. Welcome, Soltigo, World Loser. Increment needed. Yeah, I mean, if I was just playing in my own free time, I wouldn't play with increment, but in order to make the games like valuable for instructive purposes, I much prefer to have the time to commentate on the game. So here in my stream, I like to use increment. All right, almost stalemate. FM Simba 8. All right, FM Simba 8. So we played once before. I don't recall. Was it recently? Maybe it was recently. I don't remember when it was. All right, hard to remember all my games. Yeah. Probably not that long ago. Maybe I'm completely wrong though. It could have been like a year ago. Was it recent that we played another game? It should show the date, man. That would be much more helpful if it would show. Suggest to lichess to show dates there. All right. It was in a simul. Really? No, it was 3-0. And 3-0, I'm not really playing on my stream, so could have just been randomly in a tournament or something. I don't know. Maybe I just played you randomly, nothing to do with my stream. It probably wasn't recent in that case. Oh, the Tricks only arena. Okay. Only one time I played in his arena. Yeah. All right. That explains it. Thank you for the research there, Soltigo. I can't subscribe him, but I can give him an interesting match, says Attack Lee. Guys, please feel free to challenge me. We don't have any challenges today. It's a slow Monday. I don't know. Usually Monday's not that bad. had this with Kamsky once I lost against Gata. Of course, I've had this variation quite a bit. It can be reached by various transpositions. This particular line, Botvinnik, Kira's Botvinnik, by a different move order, like a later Queen B6. There's actually a lot of theory on this line. Okay, it's not Kira's Botvinnik anymore because he didn't double my pawns. The Kira's Botvinnik is black's pawns getting doubled. So like this is kind of transposing to a main line, I think, after f3. I'm just trying to remember, am I supposed to castle or play a6 here? I guess I would think like both would be playable. a6, bishop e3, queen c7 looks fine. If I play a6, he plays a4. Is that a problem? I mean, it doesn't seem like f3 and a4 really go that well together. Like apples and oranges. But I could be wrong. I don't think that after f3 bishop takes f6 is an idea anymore, because he weakens his dark squares too much. In the takes, yeah, he would be doing something else now. The crazy idea is with h5, but then bishop e3 would refute that. Okay, never mind. Well, I mean, I think now bishop e3 is going to happen, so I'd rather not even like give it to him with tempo. If b5, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, queen b8, can you do a piece sacrifice like that? I always kind of fear that sort of thing. So I reinforce it with rook b8. It's a useful move anyway. It's a lot like the English attack. He lost the tempo with bishop e3. I lost the tempo with queen c7. That's a wash. It's basically an English attack kind of thing. But his knight's on b3 in the English attack, which is sort of weird. You know, like voluntarily retreating your knight basically is not something you would normally do in an English attack type situation. So I guess at the end of the day, maybe the tally is in black's favor for weird moves here. You've played knight b3 and bishop twice. I've just moved my queen twice. Well, obviously this is like forced knight e5, but it's a good move anyway. I have to decide whether I want a castle or not. I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to argue against castling. But, I mean, I could begin initiative, you know, immediate counterplay on the queen side with b5. He just blundered. Unless it's a trick. Always take your opponent's blunders seriously, because sometimes they're just tricks, not blunders. In fact, often that's the case. Alright, I just don't see it. I think it was a real blunder. I hope it was a real blunder. If knight h5, my knight ends up out of play, so basically he's playing a normal position but missing his f3 pawn. Which makes it hard. he needs that pawn to play f4, f5, and stuff like that. How should I do this? The thing is, bishop b7 might actually take my bishop's defense away from a good square there. This is kind of a weird move to play knight b6. But sometimes I have knight a4. That can be very strong. And it does give my bishop, you know, natural move here to d7. Took. Preface to a sacrifice. Obviously you can play g6. Maybe I should just castle. Bishop f6. h6. Guess we do it this way. It's still a little scary, and I have less time. I'm up a pawn, right? That's not much. Up a pawn. Not really happy with the way I played this at the end, this dealing with that f-file thing, but maybe we're winning. I don't know. It's hard for him to break through. This bishop doesn't have any moves. I mean, queen to the f-file doesn't do anything. I could be able to castle in the coming future. The thing is, the rook takes h6. That's not going to happen. I mean, I can't allow him to do that sacrifice and kill me somehow. So, I mean, even rook f8 might be a good move. I think I should come back here. Yeah. Actually, from the get-go, I think that I think that knight b6 was maybe a strange place for that knight to go in this sort of line. This actually looks good. We're solid. Do I ever have any threats, like? He's fast. Deceptively rated at 2100. Alright, I thought rook takes was tricky there. got a lot of passed pawns. That's the problem in Sicilian a lot of times. This H pawn should really win. Setting up control of the queen square. And games in the Sicilian are always one for black. That's the classical thinking. You know, white weakens himself on the king side in the, you know, in the process of attacking. So it's pretty standard. All right, Simba, you might have been better at some point. I'm not sure, but after that blunder in the opening, I should have been winning. But you managed to make it really close. I'm not happy about like my play subsequent to winning that pawn on f3. So I don't know. My computer seems a little slow when I'm analyzing and stuff, so I'm not going to spend all our time looking at this game. Try to speed it up somehow. Soltigo, World Loser, those guys are actually subscribers and moderators in some cases. All right, Simba. I'd hate to feel like, you know, what it would be like to play you with your f-pawn. But you managed to make it a good game. Even without said pawn. All right, Soltigo, what's up? How are we all doing this fine morning? Well, it seems like everybody's a little late to arrive. Usually I have more viewers and subscribers when the stream starts, but didn't see too many familiar faces for the first 30 minutes. I guess you guys had a long weekend. All right, Soltigo, what are you going to play against me here? Some kind of insane b5 gambit again? What do you got? b5. I usually play bishop d2. Let's play knight d2, just for Soltigo. I find it more difficult to play against knight d2 in the Bogo Indian. Then I haven't been playing the Bogo lately with black. He just castles a3, so this is like mainline knight d2 Bogo. Against Erdos, Victor, I played bishop e7 last year in Zalakaros. I think that's a bad idea against a stronger player. That's probably a good idea against a weaker player, but to play this against a stronger player, not really the safest. Basically, when you have less space, you're supposed to trade pieces, not avoid exchanges. But I'd seen this variation played by Goganov or someone like that, and it's actually pretty trendy. But to be honest, I mean, it goes against kind of classical strategic principles. It's a highly risky move, and black needs to know exactly what they're doing. Against Erdos, I only played it because he surprised me. When I sat down and he played the white side of the Bogo, I was kind of surprised because I expected him to play the white side of a Nimzo. And so I was like, oh shit, he prepared for what I normally play. So at the last minute, I was just like, I got to play something I don't normally play, you know. So I was like, well, I saw the game, you know, that Goganov played and some others. So I thought, okay, I'll play bishop e7. But I didn't really remember the theory that well. And I got too passive of a position against Erdos. I almost managed to draw anyway, but almost doesn't count. Victor played like queen c2 against me, which is a bit weird, but interesting and not bad. Moisenko like lost the game with bishop d3, I think. It may be the case that the bishop's better on e2. It's not prone to be like hanging and stuff on d3. And we just play it sort of like With white, we just play it sort of like a king's Indian or something, like an old Indian. The problem is the white knight on d2 isn't very well placed in these types of positions. Possible my setup is just not really dangerous for black at all, I guess. I've got to play for space here. It's just an old Indian where my knight's on the wrong square, basically. Although we can play like b4, bishop b2. That's what Victor did against me, more or less, with his queen on c2. Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking in my messages out loud. Okay. Wow, so knight c5, practically forcing me to play queen c2. Now hopefully we can get that knight off of there. A little like a Petrosian King's Indian. But I've actually never had any practical games with white in this line, having played only one with black. I don't really play the knight d2 bogo with white. But Attackless was talking about Roman lectures. Well, I mean, that's normal when white plays bishop d2. You know, you trade the bishop and you put your pawns on dark squares. But with this situation, it's a little different. Maybe I should play bishop b2, or should I play rook b1? That's the question. The million-dollar question. Well, bishop b2 doesn't help me enforce b4, so I'm going to go with this. There are some tactics here I have to watch out for. With rook b1, h6 doesn't really have an effect. He could have played something tricky, like, I thought, tricky is like bishop h6, b4, a takes b, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, queen takes e4, bishop g6, skewering my queen to my rook and winning a whole rook, for example. So Soltigo, you know, he's not that obviously expert in the system, you know, to look for obscure tactics like that. Now he's just given up some space. c5, unfortunately, I don't have. Rook e1 looks like a solid move. What would Victor play? Victor, my friend. All right, rook e1. I'm just defending my bishop on e2. We've made some headway on the queen side, but he did get the a file. Although this can actually backfire for black. And it's one of the reasons why, like, you don't always want to play on the other side, strong side. I have more space on the queen side. With d5, it's my strong side. Ultimately, like, you can end up like just doing the work for the other guy. You know what I mean? Like, so opening the a file might eventually be beneficial for me. And if that's the case, then the whole plan is bad for black. If I can take over the a file and use it against black, which happens in a lot of openings, the King's Indian, the Bogo, various kinds of Roy Lopez and stuff. Bishop h5 was planned. Yeah, that's the nasty trick. I'd have to be very careful about that. And that's one argument for bishop b2 instead of rook b1. It doesn't set you up for those kind of tactics. So I don't know. Goganov. Actually, this variation has been played by quite a few strong players with black. People looking for something that like gives you winning chances, but you know, then again, the Bogo Indian is essentially a solid opening. Not really thought of as something like where you're playing sharply for a win all the time. Petrosian used to play it to basically, you know, hold a solid draw usually. Knight h4. Petrosian. So now he's going to play bishop g6, but it doesn't contain as much poison anymore. It reminds me of like a Lopez almost. Knight f1. Is knight f1? I don't know. There's no knight h4 because of tactics on the knight h4. I could play g3, I guess. Running out of time, it's basically a blitz game. It's all a King's Indian to me. It's all Greek. Yeah, but if I do knight h5, knight h4, knight f5, and he takes it, position becomes so kind of limited. All right, well, I don't know. I don't have to play knight f5 right away at all, but I do need to do something. Bishop d3. I'm not sure if this is a good move. Don't really like it a lot. I don't really have a plan. We have more space, but no clear plan. The plan would be to play c5, but I don't have a way to do that just yet without sacrificing a pawn. So I'm just kind of keeping my options open. This, however, is a very, very, very serious weakening of Black's king side. I think that should be avoided for Black. I guess I could play knight f5. But you're never going to play f5, my friend. He's trying, it looks like. He's trying to play f5 against all odds. Yeah, I think it's time that we did bishop b2. We might have c5 when the bishop b2 attacks c5, and we might just have directly f4 in some moment eventually. But again, I'm trying to play against his strong point on e5, which is difficult to do. That's his bastion. So I'm not really making any progress. Maybe we can slowly take the a file away from him, Karpov style. Just vampire this, you know, position, like very, very slowly take away all his fun. Okay, he's got pressure on the e4. Got to watch out for that. Yeah, I thought you'd see it your way. Well, right, there's the a file. I almost have f4, but I'm not sure how effective it is. I do have this. My queen is pretty mobile. I mean, I can protect my king side, shoot it over to g2 or f2 to protect. I'm supporting c5. Queen h3, I have lots of moves like bishop f1, so it's basically, this is a pretty awkward situation for Black. The space advantage is just lasting. I don't think I'm actually threatening anything with this move. Yeah, he's allowing knight f4. Oh, it's not hanging. Okay. Let's not be stupid, me. Well, I still don't think he's threatening anything. I mean, he can sack a piece if he wants to, but he only gets 2 pawns for it, so I don't really think it's too dangerous. He has f5 now. Ooh. I said he would never get it in. Although it's a little complicated with his queen on h3. That's loss of queen if he does f5 now. So he sacks a piece for nothing. Well, he's got 2 pawns, as I said. 2 pawns is not quite enough. Not sure if I want to do that. Let's just consolidate. He does have knight h5 here. To be careful about that. I think this move like loses something, or just lets me trade queens. Knight h5 was interesting, Soltigo. Am I going to lose a pawn now? Might lose a pawn. He sacks his queen for nothing. Totally unnecessary, dude. You got like a 3rd pawn coming there. You definitely shouldn't have done that. You had everything under control. 3 pawns for a piece. Let me see. Alright, how bad is it? Queen h4. Queen takes h4. G takes h4. Here, I thought you're getting a 3rd pawn for a piece. It's nothing. Wow, that's surprising. So my passed pawn is just too strong, huh? After knight takes e6, pawn takes. Yeah, this is just too strong. Alright, I guess you didn't have everything under control. Anyways. Alright, World Loser is our next subscriber challenge. Hey, Marius Have, thanks for subscribing. You've been a follower of the stream for a long time. I think maybe even one of our relatively first ones from from last year, early on last year when I started streaming, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks for the subscription. Thanks to all you guys who subscribed. Let's see, but I guess, yeah, I guess you didn't have anything there. Though f5 wasn't necessary. You could have just like brought your queen back or something instead. All right, let's play another d4. I basically play all different openings with white. On Wednesdays I have some fun and I do something called the Weird Wednesday stream. So I try to play unusual openings that are outside my normal repertoire. Nothing like too totally insane, but gambits and fun variations that I don't really know. So if you come by on Wednesday, that's the theme. World Loser, Slav Aficionado. All right, let's go. Main line. I'm not a big fan of e3, though I played a couple of Marins against World Loser the last couple of weeks. I never really liked e3. It just seems really passive for white when you play d4. So I don't know if World Losers played the Moscow variation against me before. I don't remember this. Other people have. I had a couple games recently with Queen b3, but my normal preparation is e3, which is the main line. And then Bishop b4, I think Ayesta played this against me. One of our other subscribers. World Loser. Is it my imagination, or I think it was Ayesta? Just, it's kind of a weird move because that's his good bishop, and normally that piece defends the dark squares, and black has primarily pawns on white squares. So it seems a bit weird to trade that piece off. But, if he trades, he's already traded another set of pieces. If he trades a second set of pieces, white doesn't have much left, to generate an attack. I mean, I'm going to lose the tempo here pretty much no matter what I do, I guess. I don't like exchanging on e5 or d5. We might as well just lose the tempo. This seems like a very solid way for black to play, and then play c5. I wonder if now taking on d5 is any better. He could always keep his bishop though, World loser could be a very simplified position after a second exchange and a freeing move like e5. Now I have e4 though, which seems consistent. But I have no dark squared bishop. So I'm not sure I have like a serious plan here. I'm going to look into this a little bit more, this bishop b4. I already don't really like this variation for white in general. Probably I need to start focusing more on playing bishop h4. But like the one time I played that in a tournament game, I lost to this guy who was like an old, really old Russian candidate master, and like, you think, well, it's a super sharp variation, an old guy is gonna play pretty badly in that kind of line, and he just killed me. This like sandbagger candidate master guy was like more than 10 years ago, but this guy was like winning under 1600 sections, and then under 1800 sections, and then like under 2000 sections, and eventually he got into the open. I had a couple tough games with him, but still, you don't think like an old guy is going to be comfortable in the Botvinnik variation like position, and he just like killed me. Much respect, old man. All right, queen e7, rook takes c3. I don't respect the sandbaggers, but this guy was tough, man. So I don't know which way I should capture there. Maybe it doesn't make a big difference. Maybe bishop d3. World loser plays so fast, it's sometimes hard to even like keep your focus. I think it's hard for him to keep his focus, actually. He gets carried away moving too quickly. Very talented player. He totally dominated our last viewer tournament. When he's on, he's on. He can play really, really well. Black has some slight development issues here, but he can solve it easily enough. I think at this point, though, I should probably change plans. I don't know, maybe he's concerned about me taking on d5 if he plays bishop d7. I actually have to be careful of the knight coming to f4. And I don't mind, he had tactics like knight d2, knight f4, queen moves, rook takes d4, knight e2 check. So we're swinging through on our way to greener pastures here. White's a little better, but it's so simplified. Keeps me off of c5. Let's see. Right. That's good. Now we've got him on the run. Okay, now there's no rush. I think I should just improve my position gradually here. He's really asking for trouble. Actually, the rook no longer makes sense. Yeah, he changes plans there. Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight there. I don't have to give up my guy yet. All right. Or loser. I'm looking for some tactics, but I knew you would do this. He gets some play down the H file. But I thought maybe, oh, he took with the queen. I think he's just toast here. I have E6. Just wins. If you get him in the morning, he doesn't seem as dangerous as in the evening. Around 7 p.m. when I do my viewer tournament, though, he's in maximum form. And my pieces are really, really powerful here. Probably need to take this first, though. His king is obviously not really safe. We have a strong passed pawn. That's a pretty mental move. But why not? Should be winning for white. Pile everything up behind that passed pawn. Wow. First I'll take... No. Is there nothing else here? Then he takes H6 check. He takes E7 check, then what? I wish I could play rook E5, but I can't. I guess queen E3. Would like to trade queens, get my queen in. He's tied down to the C6 pawn. Try to like break the pawn structure, obviously, to get through at D5. Sooner or later, something's got to give here. now it should be pretty straightforward. Mating attack. Alright, man. A little too fast. A little too early in the morning, I think. Havgar and attack. Havgar just subscribed. We'll play him first. Hey, Tricks Only, what's up? What time are you streaming, man? About the time when I'm done? I finish in about an hour. I like to host Tricks Only. Problem Grandmaster. Tactics Grandmaster. D4 Knight F6. Havgar, I think, plays he plays the Nimzo Indian. We haven't had a game in a long time. When they have the Tactics GM title, Tricks Only will be one of the first. Tomorrow. Oh no, you play F3, I forgot. Okay. We had a game with this a long time ago. I remember. Last year or early this year. Right. So instead of taking on C4, I play castles here. I had a game with Bishop G5 last year in Budapest Team Championship, which went really well. It's easy for white to fall behind in development in this type of line. And I do think this is black's best line against F3. It's not a good idea to play like the main line, the old main lines, like Karpov style. In those lines, black is like begging for a draw at best. Also, there are like old lines with D5 and this same-ish style positions. Also not very promising for black, but maybe more interesting than the Karpov approach. He only solves the problems because you're helping him? I always wondered. The first... How is he so good at tactics? He seems pretty good at tactics, though, in Blitz, too. Alright, Bishop G5. Right, this was my game, so... But I forget if I played H6 first, or D6. Maybe H6 first. I have trouble remembering what happened yesterday. No, I think H6 is okay first, and then we played D6. I had a really weird game that computer helped me prepare for last year against FIDE Master, Hungarian FIDE Master, Chismadia. He went right into this weird line that Stockfish saw, like a double pawn sacrifice, and it like happened in the game. It was really insane. He must have thought I was a genius or something, but I mean, it popped up in the analysis looking at the game the night before, which doesn't happen very often, actually. It's surprising how not so often any sort of opening preparation actually pays off. So Havgar went back to E3. I mean, that's interesting. Obviously, the normal thing to do is to go back to H4, keeping the pin, but I guess this has some points. Although it could be vulnerable along the E file. I think now we have a really good Benoni for black. Snake Benoni, sort of like. Now B5 is hanging with check, though. That's a pain. So rook E8 isn't very good because the bishop takes B5, unfortunately. That sucks. And I don't really want to waste time on A6 here, so... Knight takes d5 just doesn't quite work. I don't see it. Tricks only. I want to do knight takes d5, but I don't have a follow-up. He can just play king f2 or something like that. Unless I sack my queen or something. Anyways, alright. So we play c4. This has some drawbacks. The fact that, you know, I give up the d4 square. Maybe I'll come to regret this. Huh. Bishop a5. Threatening b4. And allowing my pawn forward movement. So if a4, I can play b4. I'm not 100% confident with this, though. I would have preferred something a little less unclear. Totally new position. If bishop e3 is a good move, that's going to pose some problems for me, theoretically. If bishop e3 turns out to be a good move, then I have to really like rethink whether h6 is even necessary. Bishop f2, king f2, I mean. I think we'll just play a6. But he's gained a lot of time here. Though ultimately his king is never going to be completely safe. Safe enough on f2. This is often like, it actually looks like a Trompowsky, some knight e4 Trompowsky. This kind of stuff happens. I didn't see any special tactics for me, and now his king has gotten out of the center, and he can develop the rest of his pieces. So I think this works out pretty well for white. I would definitely want to find an improvement for black's play here. Maybe a6 was too slow. You know, it wasn't necessary. But I don't see how I can just give up the pawn on b5 for nothing. Okay, now a4, I don't know about that. I mean, that looks kind of risky for white. Like, why is he doing that? That gives me, I would think, you know, more play than it gives him. I've been known to be wrong. Rook e8. Rook e8. Perhaps something like that. You can also play b3 at one point, putting his bishop on b1. Should mess up his coordination pretty good. Boxing his rook out, you know, ought to be useful. I lose all flexibility with my pawns, but I mean, it seems like it's kind of worth it, you know, to kill his pieces. Rook e8. How to develop the rest of my pieces, though? And watch out for knight c6. Rook e8. Let's try this. Trying to set up tactics. I'm actually happy to see bishop d4 because that piece, I mean, is taking up the square where I was really afraid the knight would go. Don't have any tactics, though. Just got to develop our pizzas. No rook a7. It's hard for him to attack the c4 pawn. Now he has time for knight h3, maybe. This is totally... weird position. I don't like what I did with my queen side. Why do I never have any threats around here? Maybe some sort of knight g4. This is a natural move. Classic Benoni. Not so classic, but anyway. It's a really demented snake, Benoni. Okay, I'm not so worried about that immediately. F4, knight g6, or knight d3 check. I'd really like to play f5 somehow. Maybe this rook. Damn, dude. He's got like all kinds of nasties. Eventually I'm going to sacrifice a piece. Man, you're only 1700 in chess 960. Need to play more chess 960. This is like a chess 960. This feels like a chess 960, dude. Totally. I've got to sacrifice a piece somewhere. Question is when. Not if, but when. Damn, dude. Unbelievable. This doesn't seem like black has anything here. All of my pieces are as active as I can make them. Yet I feel like I'm still worse. With no tactics, no sacrifices ever work for black. I feel like I'm just doomed. It's like playing Yasser Seirawan or something. It's an absolute hopeless position for black. Playing for cheapos. Totally reduced to playing for cheapos. I have no breaks, no tricks. I'm gonna have to play like G5. The way pieces are just amazingly, they're just, once they go there, they never can be moved. They're like immovable objects. This, 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 this. They just don't move. They just, the position just improves around them. Like with the, you can't move any of his pieces ever, shake them, or make them change their positions somehow. There it is. I've got to be toast here. We've got to play g5. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible for me. The only thing keeping me alive is the fact that his rook and bishop are messed up on that side. I mean, if not for that, I just resign here strategically. That's the best piece right there. At least I can try to get rid of that. One of the immovable objects, obviously. Oh, another one's come to take his place. Nice. Oh, that's pretty bad news. I'm trying to get something going on the queen side. Now his rook is free. I can kiss my H pawn goodbye. Do I ever have any kind of tactics? Damn, dude. Whoa. Oh, he missed the tactic himself there. White resigned. Jesus. I think he was winning until the last move. He missed rook takes c4. I think the whole game I was basically outplayed. It was just until the end. I mean, he made this blunder at the end. But it was a monstrous positional game by white. Alright. We're going to play attack 1988. Not happy with the way that went. DST, having money is definitely, you know, there's a lot of elite tournaments. I mean, if you want to go to like Isle of Man, for example, Gibraltar, you know, a lot of players all over the world have the advantage of having a lot of money to travel to those kind of tournaments. So, but it's not a new thing. I mean, if you go back to like the time of Morphy, I mean, Morphy became the best chess player in the world probably not only because he was genius, but because he had, you know, a really wealthy family. I mean, who has time to play chess? Like people who don't have to like work in a salt mine, you know? So, but it's much easier to become a GM today than it was 20 years ago. All right, it's a C3 Sicilian. My favorite. No. It's like my worst opening. I'm grinding away here in the Hungarian team championship, Budapest team championship, for 2 rating points a game. And, you know, if I had $1 million and a 40K factor, it wouldn't take me too long to become a GM. Alright, I played a lot of G6. It's not the greatest variation. Actually, this is probably not a position where I should play G6 because of Queen B3. Better to play G6 and Bishop G7. Alright, we'll go classical with E6. Yeah, Marius played a really nice game. I have to find another solution. Something more immediate to open the center somehow. The way that went down, the structure he achieved is advantageous to white. So I can't let that happen again in that variation. I need to open the E file or something somehow to get counterplay. I have like a development lead, but then I have no way to open the position. And if there's no way to open the position, my development lead just kind of like evaporates, and then white had the space advantage. Despite the bad rook on A1 and bishop on B1, he was still better. Attack 1988. Good year. I was probably like rated about 1900. Attack 1988. Marius, I think it's all perception, you know? It's possible that I missed something, like a concrete sacrifice or something like that, that would have opened the game. If I don't have it, then that queenside thing isn't a big deal. But I agree, I don't think you need to play A4, you know? I mean, that seemed unnecessary to me. Why do you have to do that, you know? I don't think it's the optimal solution for white to allow me to go, you know, push your rook and bishop into the box there. Although, surprisingly, I couldn't find any way to improve my own position. Alright, these variations are really, really aggravating. I hate playing the black side of the C3 Sicilian. If you do a chess-based survey of my games, it'll tell you straight up that I think like my worst opening is the C3 Sicilian, because I played 5 different variations. Never really learned one well enough. Yesterday I lost a bad game in a gambit line of the knight f6 C3 Sicilian because I just don't know the theory past like move 10 or something. I need to just stick to one variation and learn it inside and out, and I just never really did that. I just changed 5 times to 5 different systems, and still even today I'm not sure what I would play tomorrow if I played the black side of a C3 Sicilian. I actually contributed to the development of the system, which is now fairly popular, bishop f5. About 10 years ago I played that a couple of games, and then it became like a trend with grandmasters and stuff. I guess I can take credit for bringing it to popularity, but then I disappeared from the chess scene for a good while. Come back and everybody's playing that. It's hard to come up with new ideas so early, like move 4. But anyways, knight a3. Yeah, this is one of these boring variations. I think I'm supposed to play like bishop e7, knight b5, queen d8 or something. Seems illogical to me, but I have to develop my pieces somehow. I guess you can play queen d8 straight up. Maybe that makes more sense. just get it out of the way, you know. Get this stupid retreat out of the way. I remember my memory serves me correctly. Fabiano Caruana was like a kid, and he came to Budapest around 2005, 2004, and he played in an IM tournament. And I remember he had a draw with white at one of these lines with international master Dimo Werner. Just a quick draw. It's all like a forced kind of drawing line. Maybe this is the line, I don't know. If I play a6, it weakens my c4 square. C takes d, knight b5, knight d5, bishop g3, a6, knight takes d4, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I guess that seems normal. I don't know. It's just not fun playing the black side of the c3 Sicilian. It basically kills the fun in this opening completely. Knight d4, bishop d4, you put a stop to letting me easily develop the light squared bishop. I have to find an improvement. Can I just like win a pawn here? It's kind of brazen, but maybe I can just like take on c3 and just go a pawn up. DC, BC, A6, C4. Maybe I just win a pawn. It seems stupid to play A6. If I can win a pawn instead. I think when I play Queen D8, you know, maybe. How is this supposed to go now? I don't know. Never mind. I don't know. I'm not materialistic, but if I have a chance to win a pawn, I mean, I guess I have to take it. Especially in an opening where I really find it difficult to get an advantage, like the c3. He could even take with the knight there, but I don't know. Knight takes, he's just a pawn down in an ending. So I think he just, you know, he did something slightly inaccurate here. I don't know. He's supposed to take on c5 at some point. I have the feeling. 3 queen d8 maybe takes on c5 there. Then I'm trading queens on d1. That looks innocuous, actually. Strange. C4, A takes B. C takes D. I have lots of moves there. Take back, bishop b4 check. He has to watch for queen a5. Okay, probably they're all playable for black. He may... This move... Okay, now this way he just looks like he's losing. He has knight takes c6 though. Now I'm just taking on c3. Is that... I mean, I have 2 pawns now. He does have a little lead in development. Maybe significant. I don't know. Took with a knight. I can't let him play like rook d1 and paralyze me. Maybe I can. Bishop e7, rook d1, knight b4. I'd rather play this right away. Need the d5 square, and bishop c6 sometimes. Bishop b5 also. Wait, it's too far behind. Generating any kind of threats here. Looks like a reasonable try, though. If I take on f3, maybe h5. It's really awkward for white. Queen f4. Huh. Looking for tactics, but I don't see anything. I'm a little behind in development. It's just play for h4. I'm trying not to play for just time. I mean, this has got to be good. He can't afford to give me any more material. Got really strong attacking chances on the white squares. He obviously can't take. Needs to play for tactics. I have this. Queen b2, I thought. All right. What's the deal with the opening? You did something concretely very wrong here. Wasn't that obvious, though? So, okay, bishop e2 maybe you can do without. If you want to play knight a3, you can play it right away. I mean, that's actually more accurate according to the statistics here. Knight a3 right away. It's not as common to play knight a3 now, but it is played. It looks like this is main line. Okay, so now you're supposed to just play. You could play d takes c5 as I was mentioning, but it doesn't look like a big deal to me. I don't know. This just looks like harmless. Bishop takes c5. It's like equal. Okay. Well, white has a good score there. Strangely. One time very long ago, I had a game against a guy, Ben Johnson, like 25 years ago, it seems like. Around 1990, 1992, 1993. I think the same position with knight c2. It's pretty boring, but like equal. All right, Aditya Panda. Aditya Pandey. What's up, guys? Tomorrow night viewer tournament, blitz 5+2. For those of you who can make it, 7 o'clock. Okay, bishop e3 instead of bishop f4. Similar idea, just a kind of normal developing move. But it looks like the immediate knight a3, you can play it on any move. I mean, Sveshnikov played it against me on like move 4 or something. He did it like at the earliest possible moment. I also lost a really embarrassing game against Boros Danish, where I lost in like 8 moves with a very early knight a3, falling for some kind of tactical trick, where I tried to play like bishop c5, attacking his queen or something, and it just like loses a piece. But it was funny because Grandmaster Istvan Cham had fallen for the same trick once before. I'm not gonna take this. You know, you can try to do some crazy stuff to hold on to the pawn there with like queen a5 check, but I don't think it seems necessary. I noticed some computers in the World Computer that computer tournament recently, playing this move order with white. This sort of tells you that the move order must be sound. Attempts by black to play like queen a5 check, I'm sure, like, might lead to an unclear position at best. Stoltigo, I didn't see a request. Would you please add the command challenge? Yeah, let me write it down. I'll get to it after the stream is done. Thanks, Soltigo, for the idea. So Aditya Panda, I had to close the window due to multiple airplanes and ambulances. Now it's hot in here. Bishop e2. Classical Dragon. Hot in November. It was really cold this weekend, actually. Okay, bishop g7. I can also play bishop d7 sometimes. A lot of people like to play like knight takes c6 in these structures. Not a good idea. I always prefer to play the dragon if I can, rather than the Scheveningen sort of structure, because the black king is generally safer. We have one of our viewers, Nefedov, who likes to play this like Aditya Panda here with bishop e2 and then pretend it's like a Yugoslav attack with the bishop on e2. Okay, this is something else. There's a very, very famous game where Botvinnik actually played against Alekhine. The only time I think they ever played, where Alekhine, I guess, was white. Was he white? I think Alekhine was... Actually, I'm not sure now who was white and who was black, but it doesn't matter anyway. This also featured in a Reshevsky. I think there was a Fischer-Reshevsky game. Alright, but not in this position. Like, usually white has to go like knight b3 first, and then do knight c4. I lost to the same... Who did I lose to? That same guy, man. That same guy who beat me, the old Russian candidate master, beat me twice. Also in that line with g4, knight b3, and g4 really early. But I think it's more dangerous when black is castled, probably, committed to castling. I wonder about d5 here. Try to meet his nastiness with a central strike. It's kind of weird. I mean, d5, bishop b5. Then g4 would be hanging, but c6 would be hanging too. Never ever faced this move. I've played this position like 100 times, but g4 never was played. Probably there's something wrong with it, but maybe not something dramatic. So anyways, we could just castle. But I don't have to castle, that's the thing. d5, bishop b5, bishop d7, pawn takes pawn. That's a problem for me. So honestly, I don't know. G4 right away. All right, I don't know. This doesn't make me happy. Could be a very dangerous setup for white. I don't see how d5 works. I've never had this played on this move against me. Usually white plays knight b3 first and then does g4, but church bells are going off now. There's always some kind of crazy noise outside in the city. They love noise in Budapest. Airplanes, ambulances, extremely loud church bells. Can't open the window without some kind of noise pollution. I never noticed that in like Boston. Much quieter city. The only other city I really lived in. Of course there are ambulances, but not constantly. Knight d7. Which care you let? I live in the 6th district. Knight d7. No, pretty much in the center, in Pest. Not the center, but relatively close to the center. Near the city park. You live in Terrace Karut. Yeah, I mean, the ambulances are crazy. I think in the West, in the United States, there's more regulations about like when they can like use their sirens and stuff. Whereas here, they just flick them on like constantly, like all the time. Whether it's an emergency or, you know, even not, it seems like there's just like no limit to like how much ambulance sirens there are. I guess I live near a hospital, so it's pretty much like constant. But it's just something I never really noticed in the United States. It never pissed me off. It's going to be interesting to look this up. I've never literally faced g4 that I can recall. But I think that d5, bishop b5 is a serious problem for black. You know, they say you should meet a flank advance with attack in the center. But I just don't see how I have time here. And now his setup seems pretty legitimate. I mean, in a sense, it's funny. Whenever I see any kind of amateur players who don't know theory, they always leave the knight on d4. And they don't, naturally, they don't want to, they're told, like, don't move your pieces away from the center. Don't move the same piece twice. All the theory in the classical dragon involves playing knight b3 to, like, clamp down on d5. But people who don't know opening book and theory, they're like, well, that's just a violation of principle, you know, and that's making sense, really. No, I don't know. I like white better here, to be honest. Developing my pieces as fast as I can. But he's got a strong attack on the king side. How fast can I do something? I'd love to get like an exchange sacrifice on c3. Something of that type. But I just don't see how I can force that through. Knight takes e4, doesn't work. This is right, now he's threatening knight d5. Now I have to play the slow move rook e8. Here comes h5. Do I have any kind of threats on c2? Thing is, I will get mated on h8 in some variations here. Now he missed e5 there, which might have been a very, very dangerous concept. Oh, I guess I should have taken on c2 with check. Yeah, but you don't want to trade down in an ending when you're down material. So I think he had e5 even at the end there, right here. Apparently it doesn't work for some reason. Not really sure why. Why doesn't he have this? Oh, because bishop c... yeah, bishop c6 he can't go here. Duh. Alright. What if he just plays something like rook h2? I'm not getting mated here. I was afraid I was getting mated, but I just walk up. Well, he's actually not threatening mate. The pawn cube will protect me. Alright. Apparently he was winning, though. What happened? We had a trap of my queen. My god, with bishop b5. Man, we missed a lot. What am I supposed to play here on g4? Only 4 games. Oh, I just take it, duh. Kozul and Inkiev, they realized that I can just take it. I feel stupid now. That's a good refutation. Alright, well, I'll remember that for next time. Woav challenged me to 5+3. Alright, well, when in doubt, we just take it. That's like a psychological thing. You just, like, if someone plays something, you believe them, you know. I didn't even consider it. I mean, honestly, going knight g4, like, sometimes is a positional theme, you know, even if you don't win a pawn. So I really should have at least looked at it. But when he played g4, I was kind of like, just, okay, well, it must be good. What am I doing? All right. I've occasionally seen people play this gambit with knight f6, but I don't think that's correct. So, Aditya is not supposed to play g4 because you just drop a pawn. Good to know. Should have played maybe bishop f5. He hasn't even played d4 yet. Alright, so the bishop f5, it's a weird variation. One day I was analyzing some games like 10 years ago, and I saw like the computer suggested bishop f5. I think not this position, but with the knights back on original squares, 4d4. And I was like, what's that? And then I looked it up, and the only game in the database ever was like a Rui Damaso game, which is not a surprise because Rui is like this really creative Portuguese IM who basically contributed a lot to the development of the knight f6 Scandinavian and what we call the Portuguese gambit. A whole bunch of Portuguese masters like Damaso helped to generate that whole variation. So anyways, like bishop f5, it's basically pretty new. Woav is a new account. I shouldn't have accepted a challenge from a new account, but we didn't have any other challenges. I don't like to play people with like less than 100 games. All right. I guess I can always take on b1 if I have to, if this bishop has nowhere else to go. But I just generally have a rule about not accepting challenges from totally new accounts, because usually they're like trolling me and stuff. People create multiple accounts just to troll streamers. Is this the last game? No, it shouldn't be, because we have another 15 minutes left. We should have one more game. I'd like to not play the same player twice, though, to give everybody who wants to play a chance to play. Yeah, Queen A4. We'll have 1600. He's playing pretty sharply here. This looks like a problem for black. I may just be lost already. Pretty close to it anyway. E6. I guess I can play rook to C8. Not a very pleasant situation. He's 1600 blitz, 1600 bullet. I think I'm in serious trouble here. Maybe if I lose a move with the bishop. I don't like doing that. But I don't really have a better suggestion right here. Generally, though, if you guys want to challenge me, have at least 100 games played. Looks like I might be okay after this. I'm not really worse. It's probably about equal. Not really thrilled with my position, but it's only a tiny bit better for white now, rather than like winning, which it may have been close to winning. Felt like I did something seriously wrong there. E6. E6 knight b5 is too strong. Wob is basically playing like a candidate master, weak master, at least. Hopefully I can equalize. Maybe E6. Only a tiny bit worse now. Pretty unpleasant endgame for black, though. Knight C4 was a little stronger than the text move. But actually his move is not bad either. This move might equalize, hopefully, against the 1600. Now, Don't like taking my king away from the center, but we'll do what we have to do. I'm still slightly worse. That's not a good move for white. It's his first bad move. Bishop takes f6, unnecessary. Now black's probably slightly better. We went from slightly worse to slightly better in 2 moves. Opening was definitely not good for me. You know, he's trying to trade pieces a little too much. And by doing that, he gives me an ending where I have some realistic winning chances here. Maybe this is a draw, but we have chances. Yeah, it probably is a draw, objectively, but white has to play well. I'm not sure. Not sure if I should take that right away. So I kind of have to. Instantly, he found this. 1600, not 1600. Alright, this is a draw now. Nothing I can do. It should be an ops-colored bishop draw. Should have been, or could have been, if he had played f3. Maybe it's still a draw. Most likely it's still a draw. I only have 1 extra pawn, an ops-colored bishop ending. He missed there, bishop h5. Seemed like the best move. Now it's not as strong. I am going to play one more game after this. Unfortunately, I guess this is just a dead draw. Despite being extra pawn up. Really have no clue how to make progress. Can try. Even this move is probably stupid. Very good technique. This is not a 1600 I want to play in a lichess tournament or something. But he did just drop a pawn. Still, it may be a draw. Even with 2 pawns for me down. Close though. Look at his technique. Yeah, nice 1600. All right, last game. I'm going to play Mule Skinner. We haven't seen him in a while. Good to see Mule Skinner. Don't play Woab any tournament games, man. The guy is not 1600. Whatever, dude. All right, knight c3, knight c6. Mule Skinner, I was just thinking of you today. I hadn't seen you on the stream for a long time. This is our favorite variation. We've played like 50 times so far. Anyway, let's see what you've got for me, man. Last game of the day. You showed up just in time. Tomorrow's a viewer tournament, 7 p.m. CET. Five plus 2 blitz tomorrow night. I'm hosting the viewer tournament. You guys are all welcome to play. Just fun, hang out, drink some beers or something. Bishop b7. This is our pet system. I want to keep my options open for castling. Last time Mule Skinner played f5, I think too early, and I could have taken it, and I didn't. Something like that happened. This much has been, I believe this much has been played before in some random games. If he plays f5, I'm inclined to think about taking it, which would give me attacking chances on the g file. That's why I'm not castling. In the Grand Prix attack, white's usually focused on a kingside attack, and did I gain rating points or something? Was the last game? No. Did I lose rating points or gain? I don't remember being 24-22. No, the guy is not 1600. I mean, he's probably like, he let his friend play. I mean, who knows, you know? I mean, it's like a couple people. That's why I shouldn't. That's why I usually like check my opponents to make sure they have at least 100 games, so they're not trolling me. I mean, the guy wasn't that great, but he was definitely at least 2,000 and probably stronger than that. But anyway, we'll say he was at least 2,000. So he's only 400 rating points underrated, but his technique at the end was pretty good. Actually, playing fast. You know, he had like 2.5 minutes more than me too. If you think about that factor, I mean, the fact that I was the one like with far less time, it's even more suspicious. I had like 8 seconds to his 2 minutes at the end, you know, when he dropped the pawn, although it's still probably a draw. The game against Aditya Panda was rated. I knew something was up because my rating was changed. Oh yes, 24-22 now. It's higher than my FIDE rating. Oh man. I managed to gain a few FIDE points. I'm creeping back. Trying to creep my rating back to 2400. We'll see. Maybe by the end of the year I can get back to 2400. That would be good. I have a GM tournament coming up on the 12th of December. It's a strong tournament. It should be close to 2450 average. If nobody lost any rating points since last supplement. I am a little concerned about one of the players in the tournament possibly being overrated and dumping a lot of rating points between November and December. Could happen. But at least it will be 24-25, between 24-25, 24-50 average. Strong tournament. Rook b1 from Mule Skinner. Looks like he's trying to like prepare for queenside action. But Mule, can I take your pawn and keep it here? I'm thinking taking on f5. No, it's the standard stuff, right? No, actually, take knight g5. We've been here before in this kind of situation. Queen g6. Rook takes f7, h6. There's no mate on e7 because of my wonderful knight on g8 saving my life. So he's kind of like dropping a piece there. Let's try it, man. I mean, this is craziness, but we're calling your bluff. I remember there was one game recently where he did it and I was supposed to take it, you know, and I didn't. And now again, ultimately the idea is that I'm not castle. I can use the g file to attack him. He doesn't appear to have any tactics. The other move there, Mule Skinner, which was interesting, I don't know if you considered it, but knight h4, kind of just playing it like a positional pawn sack. I think that is worth considering. That's more in the spirit of, like, you know, the closed Sicilian Grand Prix attack, just playing for a square on f5. Maybe that's good, you know. This way I just clearly take a pawn, and my bishops look raging here in this position. I can get out of town anytime I want with castle's queenside. Knight g5, queen g6. As I said, rook takes f7. This square is protected by the knight on g8, so he doesn't have any tricky stuff. And he's got mate on g2 to worry about. Now maybe I missed something. Maybe he has some in-between move like knight e4 here, for example, playing a long-term pawn sack, but I think actually knight e4 looks a little troublesome. I'm gonna have to think about this. Knight e4 threatening the subtle knight takes d6 check, and knight g5. I think that was the key, man. Knight e4. Now, queen g3 doesn't contain any threats other than queen takes bishop. But queen takes bishop is irritating, but not a problem, right? I can just play queen g6. I can buy a little time with queen g6. That looks good enough to me. I just need to buy a little bit of time. Okay, Mule Skinner may not have been like fully warmed up for this game, I have the feeling. He just showed up to the stream like last minute. Yeah, Aditya Panda. I mean, dude. I mean, okay, if it was like FIDE 2699 or something, but we're talking about like the guy's bullet rating and blitz rating on lichess are 1600. I mean, that's like 1400 FIDE probably. That's like almost the absolute beginner. It's not likely he could draw an IM using like 2 minutes less on the clock in any kind of position, dude. If he was 1400, 1500 FIDE. Now we have bishop e4 check, d4, and then bishop e5, threatening what? I don't know. But I think it's simpler just to develop my pieces. Though maybe getting the bishop outside the pawn chain is worth considering. It's also bishop e5 now. The only problem with this is that it leaves my pieces kind of tied down to f7. E6 is no good. Knight h6 could be considered. That's actually probably a good move. Fluid. We've got knight f5 and knight g4 and bishop d4 check and knight g4. Stronger than knight f6 because it doesn't block my f pawn and it protects f7. It's like the picture of two bishops here is ideal. I'd like to somehow get in king d7 and just get fully developed. hopefully I didn't fall for some sort of trap here. I mean, kind of looks like it. I have the nasty mates. Like, I think there's about a 200-point difference between FIDE ratings and lichess. At my level, though, it starts to disappear, you know? Okay, like, I'm lower rated than most people. I don't care that much, honestly, about my rating, that I'm like, it has to be 2600. If I really, really cared really hard, like a lot of people, I guess. What am I doing here? F6. I could be 2600 in blitz if I really care, probably, but it's not my focus. I think it's about a 200-point difference. It probably, you know, dissipates a little bit at the higher rating levels, and the gap is a little bigger at the lower levels. But I think a 200-point approximate difference between lichess ratings and FIDE is probably about right, more or less. Definitely at the lower rating levels, for sure. With the title players, it might even carry over there. Okay, Mule Skinner was not warmed up. Alright, man. You need to come in and play with us more often. Mule Skinner is usually pretty tough, but I think he wasn't completely ready to play. I'm fully warmed up. It's a pretty unfair advantage, actually. I played 10 games, and I'm really, like, with it now. Alright, we will be back tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 10 p.m. CET, and we're going to be doing a viewer tournament with Blitz 5+2. Everyone's welcome to play. It's fun. It lasts like 2 hours, between like 7 and 9 p.m. 7:15 actually, the tournament will start. My stream will start at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and thank Marius for subscribing, and a tough game against him today, which I was fortunate to win, although I didn't deserve it. Anyway, we had some interesting games. I'm sorry, Mule Skinner, you got to come and play with us more often. I think you weren't really warmed up. We will be back tomorrow night, and that's it. Thank you, Soltigo, for being our moderator, and to all the new players who played today. I will be back tomorrow. And also, thanks for watching and subscribing and liking my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Hopefully I'll get to put up some more videos over there soon. And I do upload all the streams. Alright, Marius, I will, I just have to go triumphant. Soltigo, I will try to put in that command, the command you were talking about. I will check you guys later, and see you tomorrow night for the viewer tournament. Anyway, thanks for playing and viewing, and I will see you later. Bye.